and he has them categorized by Baptist, Presbyterian, Pentecostal, and others. He also has a book of the beliefs and leaders and a lot of information. It's in 3 volumes. It costs about $80. You should be able to get that at the New Way bookstore here. You'll have to go in and ask for it. I've only seen it in 1 store in all of Canada. But you can get it.
What's the author's name?
J. Gordon Melton.
You know, don't be afraid to take a stand in the books. I'll tell you what happened. I'll tell you this one story. Our hospital in Black Island opened up a section of the hospital called the Day Hospital. And I'll tell you what this is. This is for senior citizens to come to the hospital in the morning and have a mid-morning lunch, then have dinner, then have a mid-afternoon lunch, and go home for supper. And in that day hospital, they will listen to music, and they will play games, and they will get involved in crafts and this kind of stuff. Okay, very, very nice, very nice. And there was the United Church minister's wife that was heading that was the director of that particular section of the hospital program. And she was a die-hard feminist New Age. In fact, I have a suspicion that she was involved in other things. And she was married to the United Church minister in our town. She didn't take his name. She used her own maiden name in her marriage. And she was the head of this thing. And all of a sudden I hear that there's going to be a public meeting at the hospital with people from the Tai Chi Association of Alberta, and Tai Chi Association of Calgary. They were going to demonstrate Tai Chi, and they already were using it. This was a public demonstration with lunch. And so, I take a watch. I take a look at this thing. So I go downtown and I go to several New Age bookstores and I get all the books I can on Tai Chi, and I'm dwelling into the books because I got to find out what Tai Chi was, because I didn't really know what it was. I knew it was some Eastern, idea. Just to find out, can I get the incorporation papers first? Mailed to my sister got them and mailed them to me on the bus, and I got them. So I'm ready for this meeting. And a friend of mine who was in seminary, he was working at the hospital for the summer. And he is in his 3rd year. Or 2nd year. And he and I get everything ready to come to this public meeting. I questioned the guy in Tai Chi. So this guy from that Calgary comes, he's knowledgeable of Tai Chi. He goes through the 108 movements. And they present a paper to the public about on the merits of Tai Chi, that it lowers blood pressure, it makes you more nimble, it loosens the joints, and it's, And this paper is signed by a BSc physiotherapist. Okay, that's pretty good. So we begin to question this guy in Tai Chi. And we get him to a point, he's so badly tied up now, that he has no choice but to tell us it is a religion. See? When that point was reached, the crowd turned on us. They have people planted within the crowd, nurses from the hospital and other people, and the minister and the husband of that United Church minister, and they jump on us. And they muzzle us. You ever been muzzled in a public meeting? You can't say a word without someone jumping up and jumping at you. Well, I'll tell you, to muzzle me, you're going to have to turn it down. You know what I mean? I just couldn't believe this. So we're muzzled. And they break up the meeting. And then through the community, Dr. Didow and Mike Donnelly behaved so badly at the meeting that we have to cancel the meeting, we have to shut the meeting down. Well, fine, so we shut it down. So everybody goes home. I go to church Monday morning. People in my church say, man, you're not a very nice guy. You know, you're not very loving. You know the lie that I was telling you about this morning? Okay? So what are you going to do now? Well, I tell you, I was so angry at that meeting that I asked the administrator of the hospital to meet me in the boardroom. Just he and I. And I tell you, I took the strip on that guy that he'll never recover for a long time. Okay? But there was only he and I in the boardroom. Okay? I think I just vented my anger at that moment. Okay? But then I went home and I said, no, what I'm going to do. So I wrote a letter to the board. I said, I want a meeting with the board. I want to explain to the board what the Tai Chi is. That it is a religion. That the 808 movements are a moving prayer. You cannot separate the prayer from the movements or the movements from the prayer. Okay? And that after you have attained the level of 108 movements, then you will be invited to their center in Kelowna for further indoctrination. Okay? And if you attain that level, you will ascend to the 4th dimension, where you will be able to channel with spirit guides. Okay? So, I come to the board meeting, and here, sitting in the board meeting, is the lady that is the director of the Tai Chi Association, and the administrator of the hospital who's fully in agreement with it, and the man from the maintenance department who fired my friend because he was involved with me at that meeting. And he was working for the hospital as an employee for the summer months. So I thought to myself, boy, you know, I'm going to open my mouth and they're going to start getting in trouble again. So I asked the chairman of the meeting, the chairman of the hospital board, I said, you know something? I would request an in-camera meeting. And I only want to speak to the elected officials of the board and the chief of staff. And he agreed. So out was the meeting. Okay. Then I presented what Tai Chi was to that board. From the incorporation papers, from everything I could get a hold of. You know. I have written letters to the Alberta Medical Association, to the Alberta Hospital Association, to the Alberta Nursing Association, to the Alberta Physiotherapist Association on the subject. And enclosed a copy of that sheet signed by a therapist with a PhD, with a Bachelor of Science. And I told the board, this is a pseudoscience. This is not an exercise program. If it is an exercise program, I'll present to you 2 alternative programs which I had with me. One developed by the Red Cross for senior citizens, and one developed by the Mount Royal College in Calgary. Both, especially one of them, was scientifically put together. I said, why are you accepting a pseudoscience into your hospital for treatment, which is a religion, actually? I says, I have no qualms with them coming into the hospital, just like a pastor of any other religion, to visit a person that is sick, if he is of that belief. But to use that organization in the treatment in a tax-funded hospital is out of the question. And it was thrown out. Not only was it thrown out, but you know something, that all 3 of those people were fired eventually within a year and a half. They fired the man that fired my friend. They closed that department down and fired the lady that was running it. And a year and a half later to fire the administrator as well. My father always said, give a fool enough rope.